Malik asks, what's the biggest hardship whilst developing the Corvette chassis? What made you choose it over a C7 or a C5? And I was going to ask, why didn't you get a C5? Because that would have made, in my opinion, more sense when you
Well,
got the
C7 didn't
C6.
exist
Right.
then, right? Yeah.
Well, C7, when I got this car, C7 just came out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like, if
So
I could have had a C7, yeah, I would have. But looking back, had I done that, it would have been way more difficult.
Right. Well, that's why I was asking about the C5. It's like
C5. Okay, here's the thing with the C5. I did a lot of research on what the car was from the factory versus what I was going to have to do to it.
Mm-hmm.
So, I knew I wanted around 500 wheel horsepower and a driveline that could hold up to it for at least a year or so.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm looking at a C5, the only way to do that would be to get a Z06 with the LS6 engine and a better transmission and rear end. At the time, totaled C5 Z06 would have cost probably $10,000 more than the C6 that I bought. And the C6 had the larger displacement 6.2 liter LS3, an even better transmission, and an even better rear end because my car's an 09.
And the interior is newer.
Yeah, and it just looks way better.
It's way better looking.
It's just way better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was definitely looking at C5s, and a friend of mine who I've known forever, he's like, oh, you should get a C6. I'm like, nah, it's just going to be too much. I was like, you find me a C6 for whatever this price, I'll buy it. So he sends me this one on eBay. And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. Like, so
he said, "What up or shut up?"
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, all right. So
like, I ain't no bitch.
Yeah. So that's how that happened. But it was, I mean,